everyone. Hello. Welcome back to Tale of Four Gamers. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. We are the Four Gamers doing our tale. I keep on meaning in all these new episodes to reintroduce the concept of what we do a few times because there's so many new viewers to the channel. I think it's something to do with some video game that just came out. But there's a lot of new people out there.
There's a video game out now?
Yeah, there's some video game that came out a month or so ago, and I'll tell you, it's whatever it's called. It's very good if you happen to run a YouTube lore channel about Warhammer 40k. Yeah. So, hi, this is Tale of Four Gamers. We are the Four Gamers. I'm going to get my angles right now. To this direction is Russ, who is 50v2.
Not on my screen.
On your screen, no, not screen. Underneath me here is Bobbie, who is a pilot some props, and down the direction I almost had it perfectly. Down there in the corner is Gary, who is forgotten by the gods, our resident sad beard. What we do is all of us will build an army for the game we all love, Warhams, over a few months, and we'll all slowly build up our armies. It's a concept that originally debuted in White Dwarf years ago. And each month we'll add a bit more with the objective of playing some event usually. The current plan is to do all of the different forms of 40k, though we're starting with something that isn't technically 40k. We're going to start with Kill Team. So right now we are building Kill Team forces. People can join in at various levels on the Patreon or YouTube membership scheme. There's access to our Discord. Our Discord we keep quite small, and the Discord then has threads, which we'll look at later in this episode, where people are painting along and joining in and also building their armies. So hopefully it'll be a way of us learning new systems. Hopefully it'll be a way of keeping up hobby motivation for everyone, including us. Sometimes it's a massive distraction to all the things we want to be painting, but that depends what else Games Workshop release. So yeah. How are things, everybody? How's life?
Too busy.
Too busy for painting.
My job keeps distracting me from the really important things in life.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I'm kind of glad actually. I've got an objective complete this month, and I'm actually quite glad that we're doing Kill Team because I wouldn't be keeping up. Yeah,
I'm not keeping up anyway.
Yeah, I had 2 weeks off work, and I spent all of it building a shed.
Oh yeah,
so,
right. It's sort of the same as Bobbie.
Oh right, yeah, and it needed painting and stuff, right? Put a bit of undercoat on.
DIY is hobbying. DIY is definitely hobbying.
Just a lot more digging and stuff. Like I've got a blister on my hand from it. That doesn't happen so often with Warhammers. But yeah, that's good. No, I built a shed for my little boy. It's like a little place where he can go away for 30 minutes and read books. Yeah, he loves it. And I've got a little intercom put in it so he can press the button and like, Dad, can you bring me water? And
Oh no, Gary, that sounds like a terrible idea.
Nah, it's fun. He loves it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
So before we get into Kill Team, there is one thing that has happened to all of us in our lives, is the sad passing of an institution. Well, not the sad passing of an institution, but the sad passing of one institution anyway. Yeah, our friendly local gaming club, which to be fair, we're all very terrible at actually getting to regularly nowadays. The Hate Club in the Hackney area tabletop enthusiasts is having to move venue because Bethnal Green Working Men's Club's closing down. Yeah, I know. I haven't totally. I was keeping up with the drama, but yeah, Russ? Do you know more than me?
Well, I know what Mags and Steve have said. So obviously, Mags and Steve are on the committee of the actual Working Men's Club itself.
Yeah, they're behind the bar and the bar.
Yeah. And they've, like, Mags is an institution as far as Hate Club is concerned. Like literally to the point that when people make terrain tables for Necromunda, they name the bars in Necromunda that they make after Mags. Ben, I think did that. So essentially, there was someone there sort of running the sort of event side of things, and he wasn't paying bills, and he was allowing in far more people than the fire safety regulations
Really?
allow. And as a result, there's just no viable way to keep the club running. They had issues with the plumbing, they had issues with the electrics.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think, you know, they were still hopeful they could make things work in some way, shape, or form, but it looks like, I guess not, which is incredibly sad for
Yeah.
Hate. I started going there probably pretty much the same time as you, I guess, because I was going there from pretty much as soon as they opened the place. I didn't
about
make
10
it
years
down for about, yeah, because they were originally they roamed around go on.
I went to the ones in Electroworks. A few of the ones
Right, so I was going to say,
before they found a venue.
that's what I was going to say. That's where Slimelight used to be, wasn't it? And they
Yeah,
used to
still
do
is.
it there occasionally. But then Hate had its first permanent home at Bethnal Green Working Men's Club, and I was there from very soon after they moved there.
Yeah.
And I've sort of made a lot of friends there. There's a lot of people, you know, like friend of the channel, Ed. I met Nathan through Hate Club. You know, so many people that I've played games with, and it's just Hate Club won't stop, but it's incredibly sad that it won't continue at Hate.
Yeah, it's like
Bethnal Green, I mean.
Yeah,
two different things going, isn't it? Because you've got Bethnal Green Working Men's Club, which is this, like, it's one of the last few proper working men's clubs still running in London.
And it was an institution in terms of all the events they ran there. And whilst the guy running the events, you know, I've heard a lot of things about the way that he was doing things. I went to events there before this sort of stuff all came quite as out in the open as it was. Had a great time. You know, there was burlesque shows, there was a David Bowie tribute thing I went to, a few other events, and it's I think it's incredibly sad for the LGBT community, because that was a huge part of what they did there. And I just hope they understand that nobody wanted it to happen this way.
Yeah, from what I understand, that there's two basic things, isn't there? Because as you say, Bethnal Green Working Men's Club, which is this big institution, it's an old Victorian building. It's been there for 100 years. It still has. And part of the issue, I think, possibly, is they still have like a core of members who are all quite old now, who sort of run the club. Hate
always there on a Sunday afternoon, staring across the bar at us as we play our weird war games, and they're just sitting there with their beers in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my God, what do they think of us?
I would say that one of the problems, though, is partly that there's always been a lot of resistance. So Hate now are like very regularly there. They're there twice a week, and it brings in loads of people who are all regulars, and generally they haven't been allowed to like be full members, which of course means that the club committee is still, you know, the old guys, and the people at Hate who would love to be full members and help support it can't be. And then you end up in this situation where I would guess, and this is, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but the alcohol license I don't think was renewed or something, and there was a bit of this drama about whose job it was, because they're going, well, you run the venue, you should do it. My guess would be that there's a very vague set of responsibilities about who each person should be doing, and essentially it's got to the point where like the events are being run, like there's tons of events happening there. It's become this, one of the ways it's kept going is by being this big ballroom club night thing that has all these really popular events that keep the building going, you know, so that the old guys still have their beers on a Sunday afternoon in the basement. And it's got to this sort of point of the building's in disrepair, it needs loads of work. They use it as a film venue, but I don't think the buildings see much of the money from that. They use it for loads of events, but they're all sort of small community events, so they don't maybe see lots of money from that. And then the responsibilities of things like who's paying the license and who's doing the required fire safety admin have just fallen through the cracks to the point where the person I would guess the person the committee thought was doing it isn't doing it, and that person's going, well, that's not my job to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard one side of the story, and I believe the people who are talking to me, but obviously different people have different perspectives on things, and I don't think anyone's lied to me, because I've not spoken to the events organizer at all. I also think that there was a lot of untruth from him to various community groups, and I'm pretty certain that much is at least the case.
Yeah, I think also like this is the sort of thing that happens in that sort of organization, right? After time, you inevitably get this, unless you're very, very up on how to draw those contracts up, and someone's doing the fire safety, and someone, unless that's all being done very professionally, this happens, right?
Yeah. But also,
yeah,
I mean,
anyway.
in any of these sort of groups, my my dad is a ex-fireman, and even the
Yeah.
Retired Firemen's Association has got so much political infighting of
Yeah.
people who want to maintain their own little petty fiefdoms and run things their way. And then when people also want to get involved, they realise you've been using personal accounts for this, and you can't do that. And then people sulk that, well, I don't think I've done anything wrong, blah, 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 blah. And it's just, it's a mess.
You get that in all these. And then, of course, separate from
Yeah.
that, you've got Hate Club, right? So Hate Club's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's a really lovely club. We all sort of met through it, but we all sort of have hung out there for years. It's also like very deliberately tries to be one of the most inclusive clubs in London. There's a huge, it's significantly more diverse than in all sorts of ways than most gaming clubs, possibly because of the people who run it and the venue it's in, basically.
And most clubs have anything full stop, gaming or otherwise, in fact.
Yeah. And Hate has really specific requirements. That's one of the reasons it's so difficult for them to find a venue is because Hate has so much boards and scenery. So you can't just hire a room unless that room's got storage.
Yeah, you need 2 rooms, really.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the problem they've had before with, like, I think they tried for a while this idea that, they would have a storage unit and someone would van down the kit. But if you've got 50, 60 people playing games of Warhammer, you need to van down 25 tables of kit every day.
It becomes a Luton van,
Yeah, it becomes this huge project.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good people at Hate, and they're going to survive because they've got the momentum behind them and people looking for new spots. They've already got like 2 possible venues that they've lined up, so it might not be the same as we're accustomed to, but it'll get there.
Well, Hate's already spawned Hate Stings.
Yeah.
And I think, there's a lot of clubs around the country now with people clubs around the country, but a lot of people have down at Bristol Vanguard, there's ex-Hate members, for example, I believe. I know people have moved up north, etc. I mean, I think the vibe of Hate, even if Hate doesn't survive as a single venue, once a week club, I think at the very least the Hate ethos will sort of go on as Hate Stings and what it's taken to other clubs, and hopefully spread that message of inclusivity rather than any message of, no, this is for us and it must be like this for us and us alone.
Yeah.
I think that the real difference there, though, Russ, is that Hate's established itself in central London, which has got its own challenges. Like Hastings, it's not London. It's got space around it, so you can find places to set up club pace. The list of demands you need for a Warhammer club are quite high.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean when I say that Hate might not survive as a single venue place anymore. It might be that Hate just can't do that, and that'd be awful. But hopefully they'll find somewhere.
Yeah, or just be a touring carnival. I'd do that.
It's just very sad, it's something that's been going for so long, and both Hate and the Working Men's Club, it's sad that people couldn't find a way of making agreements and
the building's
being grown-ups and just working things out, but.
Yeah. Anyway, well, there we go. So the sad passing of temporary, hopefully passing of Bethnal Green Working Men's Club. Hate will be homeless for a while, but we'll see what happens. So Kill Team. We've all been building kill teams. The box is released, Hivestorm. I got a copy. It's the one with bugs and stormtroopers in, which one day I really want to paint as like a Attack of the Clones Star Wars Genosha set. I think that'd be quite good to do.
That'd be really cool.
But it's come out. We've found out how they're going to release teams. I believe. Am I right in thinking the rules are out for some of the initial set of
all the PDFs of the actual teams are all up on Warhammer Community now.
Yeah, cards are available for sale and stuff. Like everything's out now. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. What have people got it? So I've got the box and that's it. And I'm planning on downloading the rules for Legionnaires. Bobbie there, actually Kill Team. And what did you get, Bobbie?
I just have this very nice, expensive hardback book.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize it was hardback. Mine's softback in the box.
Yeah, no, if you buy it separately for I think it was like 30 quid, it's hardback, which I do prefer a hardback rulebook, if I'm honest. It's quite a nice rule set as well. Like I've had a good read through. It seems like it's going to be fun to play. I'm glad there's an index on the book though, because some of the rules are a bit scattered around the place.
Yeah,
They've got an index. That alone, that's not something they have in every book the way they probably should. There
That's
should
true,
really be an
yeah.
index in pretty much all of their books.
yeah. I sort
I'll
of get the
celebrate
impression that if you did like an index for a Horus Heresy book, it would be about 30 pages long, but it's still
It'd be
probably
about
more.
the same length as the whole book. Yeah.
Yeah. So the book's out. I haven't I've gone through it a bit, but I haven't gone through it in detail, partly because, and I think I mentioned this last time, but now I'm allowed to talk about it. I got a sneak preview. I got invited up to Warhammer World about a month before release, where the Kill Team design team took us through like exactly what they were trying to do and what they're trying to change and how this new system works and, you know, how the game's meant to work and what the intention was and let us play through it early, which I cleverly did with Space Marine Intercessors so that I would know what I was doing for this. So I've gone through the rulebook, I've read through it, and it makes sense to what I remember, but I haven't yet actually gone through the game. My intention is today I am going to play, while filming a video about beer, play the game with Gary. That's how I'll learn it. But other than that, I've just got the box.
I bought the cards for the scouts, and I bought the attack ops cards. I just like the idea of having, you know, stuff on the table rather than looking through the book so much. So I bought the cards. I've not yet bought the rules, so I'll be dependent on you people for the rules.
Well, I think the core rules are online, but you were saying there's a lot more in the box than in the card pack than you thought.
Yeah, so I was expecting just sort of like quick summaries, but there's everything in the card pack, from how to set up the game. There's the layouts for standard terrain sets. You've got the layout for, you know, 6 different layouts for Gallowdark. You've got.
Is it similar to what they have for Warcry?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's meant to be like a seasonal thing, that this is Kill Team for 6 to 12 months, and then they'll do a new mission pack, and that will change how setup and stuff. So they can alter those things and freshen things up and do new scenarios just on cards.
Yeah, I'm much for the idea of buying a new set of cards than a new book every year.
Yeah, it does say TAC Ops 2024, so I thought it might be yearly. So yeah, the next one will be out next year, I guess. Yeah, there's everything's in there. You know, there's here's your 6 missions, here's your 6 layouts, and then when you go to the Scouts one, it's got like 1 card for each type of Scout.
Yeah.
Then you've got like 1 card for every type of equipment you can purchase with your.
Most of the rules are on the card deck, which is really useful. Yeah. Great. Well, yeah, we're gonna actually try it. We're gonna try it out today to see what it works. Mostly because I'm away next week, and it's the only chance I'm going to get. But I'm sure by the time I get back, you will all be more skilled than me at Kill Team.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'll maybe be a bit more negative once I've played it and go, what's the point of all this? But looking through the cards, everything seems to have a purpose. There's a lot of cards. If there's a negative thing, it looks like there's way too many cards to be putting on the table. Like I'll need a side table for cards.
Well, I'm a little worried that when we're doing the event at the end of the month, which is now fully booked. So thank you to everyone on the Discord who wanted to come to the event. We now have 12 secessionists and 12 loyalists. But the venue were like, yeah, you can totally do 2 Kill Team games on a 6x4. I'm like, ooh, okay, can we?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, we've got 6 tables booked for 12 games at a time for 24 people. So yeah, brilliant. So without further ado, we should probably get on to our updates. We've all been killing teams away. So we're starting our updates. How have I written it in the notes? I've written it to start with Gary. Gary Keenan, how are your scouts? Astro
Yeah, my scouts are fully painted. I've put them onto Void War bases so that they can be indoor in the Gallowdark. I did I tried a new thing with painting the bases where you do the really diluted paint.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, a ratio of like 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 or so of water to paint, and you just completely splurge it on. And yeah, that worked great. And you just leave it overnight to dry, and the water evaporates and it leaves like a powdery sort of dust.
But that hasn't worked out as well on the terrain, right?
It worked better on the bases, I guess, because they're more flat. With I've also been doing it with the terrain, but what I did then was I lifted the terrain up by a slight incline so that mostly the dust settles on the bottom half, and then it works okay, and it's really quick.
So this is 2 sets of Kill Team terrain, right? Enough for 2 boards in red.
Oh, right, yeah. So
I like that you've got them on a theme-appropriate Necromunda floor there.
No, that's the Gallow Dark Floors.
What, the deck plate that they're sitting on?
Oh, right. No, that's a fire escape where I painted them. Sorry, I thought I didn't have the same picture. Yeah, so yeah, I painted them. That's where I sprayed them all red and green. So I've got 2. Yeah, so when I was looking at the boards, they've got like one side of the board is sort of really red and blue, and the other side is really sort of green. So I've just decided I'd paint one set green, one set red, and then they'll have their own sections, and I might have to do a bit blue somewhere to try and transition, but yeah.
I must say, I'm really liking the effect of the painted one, though. It's very Mega City 1. It's very 2000 AD. All those little wonky 4:3 TV screens.
Oh yeah, that's a good. The detail on them is, if anything, there's too much detail on them. They take a long time to sort of pick out.
Yeah.
Bits of silver
You want
and green.
terrain to be pretty fast to paint, ideally, don't you?
Yeah.
And you don't want it to steal the show either. Like if you put too much effort into it, and then your miniatures don't stand out against it enough. So it's a fine line for them to balance.
I think the Hate board, the Zone Mortalis board, I think it was Henry South and a few others worked on it, and they did it really, really well because they painted it really, really well, but they sort of the colors they used were fairly desaturated, and so whilst the board itself looks amazing, when you put your models on the board, it doesn't detract from your models. And obviously, I think the guys who did it, they've got a background in actually knowing how to do that sort of art and looking at colors and how they work well. But that's, I think, really important sometimes. And I think GW need to be careful that their terrain is terrain and not a model in its own right, maybe.
Yeah.
But they also charge a lot of money for it, so you need to.
Yeah, it's got to be good.
It can't just be a plain flat piece of plastic,
Well, indeed.
Yeah. I think there is like a thing here though with these terrains. Like if you look at it, a lot of it, obviously, you've gone down the route of painting a lot of that detail, but like a lot of you could paint this right, rusty iron, and all the screens are just broken. And dials aren't a different color, and go there you go. It's just rusty iron, and it would work.
At the moment, the green side is basically just sprayed green and dry brush silver, and I could easily game on that. Like on the red side's half finished now, where I've picked out a lot more metal, and I've picked out the skulls, and I've gone back in with bronze metallics to give 2 different types of metallics. And that's before I do the big dusty wash. But overall, I don't want to spend weeks on terrain. I want to, have like both sets done in about a week's worth of painting. I don't want it to be like something that drags on for months.
Looks really good though. That's what matters, isn't it? That's at the end of the day. If it looks good, it's generally you don't feel bad about having spent the time on it. So that's what matters, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I count that as progress anyway. You've still got a load of stuff done. You've still got a month to get them done. A bit over actually, and the scouts are finished, so that's good. Bobbie, you have also been making progress. We've been doing very similar things the last month. How's it all going with the most friendly of chapters in the Badab War?
Yes. The problem in the Badab War, I mean, other than the Astral Cores, they're going all right. I'm most of the way done with slightly more models than I need, because I'm going to be running them as Legionnaires, because I think that's the most fitting for like first-born Space Marines and gives you the most like relevant options. But I've ended up with 9 painted models rather than 6. But it just gives me some options if I want to run different special weapons and whatnot. They're nearly there. I need to do some more freehand. I've got more flames I want to add, more markings. So that's something that the Firehawks have quite a lot of iconography on their battle plate, so I need to go in and do all of that. And I, for some reason, decided to do some edge highlighting on these. I never do edge highlighting, so making things more difficult for myself. But they're mostly done. I'm quite happy with them.
What symbol are you? Because these, I really like these. These are really vibrant. You've painted on the flames, which is much more difficult than my easy route that I've taken. But are you obviously in colours? This looks more like the original scheme a little bit. What are you going for? Nuclear blasts or phoenixes?
I'm going for phoenixes on the shoulder pads. I've done a nuclear blast on the tilt shield of the sergeant, just to
nice.
Give a nod to that older symbology. I'm going to go for the phoenixes. I think it's going to be easier to paint.
That looks really good. I've just zoomed in on that blast, and it's really good.
It's really good. It's really
really so good.
Where did you get the Mark V bits? Are they printed?
The helmets are printed. The bodies are just Mark VI bodies that I've then put studs on and cables on.
Oh wow! Via the ball bearings and drilling method.
Yeah. The studs are all just little
a lot of work.
ball bearing things that Russ put me onto, and then
I've still got to do more of that for heresy.
Yeah,
the cables I made using a green stuff roller and then just stuck onto the armor.
Yeah, there's some really lovely choices there. Like even like the fact that like the wrapping on the battle on the axe is such a different tone that it really stands out to everything else. So you really see what it is. Like it's really well done. I suppose it's the fun thing you can do when you've only got 6 models, right?
Yeah, you can. I actually kind of went in and went, okay, this model's being. Yeah, I'm the Melsagun guy. I'm going to give him the Mark III plate because that makes sense. That he's up really close and he wants that extra armor, and just really being selective with what parts I'm using for which models.
Yeah, they look incredible, Bobbie. So, are you done, or are you like almost done?
Almost done. As I say, I want to do some more edge highlights. I want to put on just a few more flames here and there. I've got to paint. They've all got, some of them have got like their tactical squad symbol on the shoulder pads, but they need squad numbers putting on them, and that's all going to be freehand that I'm adding. So, but they could go on the tabletop now. It's just I want to keep adding more detail to them as I'm.
Cool. Well, 5 weeks left to bling them up as much as possible. Brilliant progress. Russ, you have had another busy month, but you've done some stuff in non-kilting things. I think you finally discovered the joys of oil.
Yeah, so I've had these oils sort of sitting around ready to use for ages, and it's just I wanted to start with the oils on my Terminators for reasons of not caring so much if I messed them up. And finally found the time to get the gloss varnish on, get the oils on, get the oil back off. And actually, I'm really pleased with how the oils worked. So I need to get the rest of my Alpha Legion army done. But there's lots of little things I want to get done on the models before I put the oils on. And it's finding the time. It's only little jobs I want to do, but at least I know now that I can get the oils working the way I want them to. Because I do actually plan to do oils on my Lamenters as well. So I've got one practice model. This guy's not particularly carefully painted, but he has got oils on, and it's got the sort of tone that I like. I think it's like a good Lamenter's color. So I want to do the same thing on the ones that I'm actually painting sort of right now. And I think it will get them to look as close as I reasonably can to the ones in the old Imperial Armor books.
And you've also been working on some Mantis Warriors.
Yeah, so the Mantis Warriors, I've got all of their shoulder pad icons all painted. I painted them on. I just blue tacked them all to a big wooden stick, quite frankly, and they're all now painted and ready to be super glued. I need to just take them downstairs, and I tend to sit down and watch Maths UK with the wife sometimes. So I need to sit there and have like that job to do as I'm watching mindless crap, which I always try and avoid watching it. And then I accidentally watch an episode with my wife, and I'm like, oh, now I need to know what happens next time.
Oh no, you've accidentally watching Married at First Sight. Not your choice. Oh no.
I've avoided a few seasons of it, and then every once in a while I accidentally watch like one episode, and then I'm like, oh god, no! Now I need to know what happens.
Sucked back in.
The most important thing is, my Mantis Warriors. They're still a long way from finished, but I've done you've got the photos. I know I'm holding this up to the camera. I've done the actual the checkers and the hearts. There's one or two tiny bits that I might fix up some of the squares at the end, but because I'm going to oil them anyway, I might just do some battle damage briefly and then oil them, and I think they'll be okay. But I'm going to do everything except the yellows and put the yellow contrast on at the end, then do the oil washes. So I mean, everyone talks about, oh, it's so hard to fix yellow. Well, number one, it's not as hard as people say.
Yeah.
If you are doing it fairly gritty in the first place. And number two, then do the yellow last.
Yeah.
Fix the other stuff that the yellow messes up, because that will be easy.
Yeah. That's true.
So yeah, I've got the eyes done, which is a hard bit, and I've got the hearts and the checkers done, and now I've just got the straightforward bit. So I'll definitely be ready for November 23rd with a kill team. But I want to get the rest of the squad done as well. But one thing I did realise I've messed up is that I haven't actually, of the 6 I chose to get that far, haven't really got a sergeant amongst them. So I need to take this guy, cut off his bolt gun and reloading hand and use them on a different model. And I'll probably just give him like a plasma pistol and a power sword or something.
Yeah.
Like a tilted power sword, sort of pointing his power sword at someone aggressively or something. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it so far. It's going well. It's going slowly, but it's going well. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Brilliant. So that's all progress. I'll then. So I have also got progress. Mine is similar to Bobbie's, but just not as well painted. So I have been doing what I said. I didn't actually think I'd get this far. These sat on the desk for a while. My intention is a Firehawks kill team built out of Legion of the Damned models, because we all know what happens to them. And also the Legion of the Damned models have the major advantage of already having tons of little skull-based details and flames modeled on, which makes them a lot easier to paint. So I've done it. I got my 6 guys painted, and it was an interesting experience. Usually I'm one for big batch painting things. I was originally thinking these might be like an airbrush thing, like 2 different oranges, zenithal, that sort of thing. I've gone more for the color scheme from the Forge World books, which consistently says they're flame red, but is in fact definitely orange. So I've gone with orange. And actually I painted these individually, like almost 1 at a time, 2 at a time. Like it's pretty much contrast Gryph-hound orange. And then basically I do something like all the blacks and then go over with some Corax white and just touch up so that all the bits that aren't meant to be black are still white. Then I'll do all the oranges, and the oranges would be Gryph-hound orange, wait for it to dry, highlight with like Minotaur pumpkin mixed with a bit of white. And then I go back and I go, right, I've gone over the lines in all these places, fix it with Corax white so everything else is still white. And then I'll do the yellows, and then all the yellows are done. All right, fine, go back over, highlight the yellow. Now go back over it, all the bits I've fucked up on with Corax white, until basically slowly the model was built up to be painted. And they look all right. They look kind of nice. They're a little desaturated, I like. Yeah. There's a lot of detail on these, but the fact that it's all raised detail makes it quite easy to paint. Like essentially they're black, orange, yellow, silver, and bone. And there are no other things to do. Like a couple of them have a bit of gold. The banner is quite nice to paint because even like the flames on the banner are sculpted. Like they're all, all that detail's real. So yeah, it took me a couple of weeks, but 6 models done and I'm happy with it. The way I've done it is I've used the Legion of the Damned Sergeant, who used to have a power axe. I've replaced his axe with like a great big scully icon thing. So he looks more like a chaplain, which I'm imagining if I decide to expand if I decide to expand and go with this into like combat patrol, it might be more useful for a chaplain, because I've probably got a couple of sergeants already. But in game terms, they're going to be, I think like yours, Bobbie, they're going to be Chaos Legionnaires, so Traitor Legionnaires. It's an icon bearer, the guy with the flag, that's actually the old sergeant backpack, a champion with a power weapon and plasma pistol, 2 bolt gun guys, a flamer guy, and a guy with what's meant to be a chainsword and a bolt pistol, which I had to The Legion of the Damned guy is carrying like a Scully bolter and just a knife. So I just replaced his bolt pistol with a Mark 6 one. I also I think I also swapped some of the heads around inadvertently on this. So the guy who's obviously wearing Mark 6 has a Mark 7 head, and the guy in the Flamer guy's got a Mark 6 head, but I don't really mind.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing that a lot of chapters used to do anyway. I think that could just give them a different look.
Yeah, so I'm happy with all these really. It's basically, it was a nice couple of weeks painting them. I literally was doing it. I've been really busy with work. It was nice to be able to like sit here. A couple of days I'll be working at home, and I'd be like, do a meeting, and then in the 15 minutes I've got, I'll just do all the bone on that guy. Oh, okay, and then I'll go in just like that.
How did you do the yellow on the shoulder pads?
Corax white base, Eandon yellow contrast, and then a little bit of Eandon dark sun, whatever that's called now, Avalan sunset, mixed with white as the highlight color. So that's it. It's just Eandon yellow contrast and then Avalan sunset with Corax white mixed in as the highlight color.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
It's
really
quite
simple.
vibrant for Eandon.
Yeah, it's like they're all a little. It's a little desaturated, a little lemony, but I kind of like it. It pops more against. If it was too saturated yellow, it wouldn't pop against the orange.
Yeah.
Because the problem I was trying to get was like the pale orange, the yellow, and the bone are all really similar tones.
Yeah.
So the bone's really bright, and the yellow's quite lemony, and the orange is like quite pumpkiny, to try and get them all looking different.
Yeah, but it has worked, hasn't it? So
from that era of sculpts, they're just kind of the end of being hand sculpted with green stuff, which I think makes them a little easier to paint as well.
Yeah.
The detail's quite chunky compared to some of the digital design detail.
Yeah, that's true.
They've come up really nicely.
Yeah. So that's,
and I've realised we're on the same bases as well. We both use Sector Imperialis, but so we've painted them differently, but we've both done Firehawks on the same bases.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did do the thing that I did originally paint the first one with a grey rim on the base, because that's how I do all my bases for like armies with grey rims. Only because my big board here is grey. And then I realised that since there's only a few of them, they might actually look better the way I do like Underworld's gangs and Warcry things, where I paint the base rim a really bright colour so you can see where all your pieces are on the board. And actually, I quite like the orange rims. They look like they're in a little video game.
Yeah, they do.
Actually, so yeah, that's me. So on to community progress. It's been a busy one on the Discord. So the community have been piling in with this first stage of Kill Team. Obviously, some people are building for Kill Team. Some people are building for the wider project, which expands these into full armies and 40k. So we've got a mix of different things. And over the last 6 weeks, because we had recorded the last one, we had a couple of false starts on the recordings. We'd actually, even by the time we recorded the last one, people have made more updates. So now there's a lot of updates to go through, which is great. The whole point of this is to keep people motivated and to see what people are doing. If, as I said at the start, if you want to get involved, basically there's various levels of things like YouTube memberships and patrons. There are levels where you get Discord access and Taylor 4 Gamers involvement. And we do that because if we did it at the lowest levels, then would be way too much to go through in a week. So we do try and keep it to like game. But if you want to join in, you're more than welcome. Anyway, let's look at what we've got. Here we go.
We're all on social media, so if you're not on the Discord, we are, post stuff on social media with hashtag Tail4Gamers Badab, and we'll try and have a look at it there as well. Like, I'm trying to be better with that.
Yeah, I should have a button for that as well. I should have a button where the hashtags come up, but it's TOFG Badab and the Badab War. If you're putting on Instagram, that means we can all see it. I've even been quite good at remembering to do it with my own stuff, which I'm usually really bad at. So there we go. Anyway, right. So let's go down here. We've got loads of updates today. It's brilliant. So we'll start off with William, who's got their Astral Claws Kill Team. I'll just read this. In the early stages of painting, a little bit more work to do on the Sergeant. They've got a few Astral Claws, haven't we? They're quite good ones to do because they're not, like, you can spend a bit of time on detail because they're quite an easy scheme, right?
Yes.
I was going to say, you've got a lot of work here, especially on the Sergeant here at the front. You can see the time and energy has been put into a little bit of wear and tear. You can see the oil stuff coming down from the rivets and stuff. And so a lot of people used to say that about Iron Warriors in 30k. It's easy to paint them, but then you can still go back and make them look better and better by adding details. And I think it's very much true for Astral Claws in this.
Yeah, you can get an army ready quick, and then go back and do things. Because essentially, silver with a bit of blue and gold, right? Yeah. Looking brilliant. Craig is back. He's a checker check. I need a checker check on the checker checks. We've got some lamenters here. These are looking fantastic. So how's the checkers looking, Russ? Give us a checker check.
So I'm going to give them a high mark, definitely. I'm inspecting them here. We can't zoom in quite as much as I would like, but they do look very, very neat.
Yeah.
I think they're a tiny bit bigger than my own. I think that might be more a sign of sanity than laziness.
Russ taking his job as checker way more seriously than I was expecting. But yes, this is great.
Yeah,
good.
I think I'm going to give them, I think, a 9.5 out of 10, because I'm going to look at the hearts as well, and I think they're not just a block of red. There's actually been the time taken to put a bit of tonal variation through the hearts.
Yeah.
They've clearly been done very, very well. They've got the right proportions. The hearts, in fact, I would say, do match the way in which the hearts were drawn in the Forge World book, and even the little blood drop at the side is correctly positioned, which is actually quite rare. You would find if you looked at Lamenters as much as I do. There we go.
Great. Well,
9.5 out of 10.
Also, they look lovely, Craig. They look very nice.
I like a mix of Space Marine heroes with the Mark 6 armor, Horus Heresy kit. There's lots of nice bits in that.
I realised it makes complete sense. It hadn't occurred to me previously, but I've got the one that he's painted as Death Company. Quite obviously, I'm now going to do the same, because that's a really good idea. So I'm stealing that idea.
Lamenters of Blood Angels, aren't they? Forget about that. Yeah, brilliant. There we go. Good job, Craig. The Badab War. Yes, very good. For this update with my Fire Angels, always like to see some Fire Angels. They're always overlooked. I slightly overshot the kill team model count to full tactical squad, proxy intercessor squad. Still building up some more bog standard infantry, but hopefully I can move on to some interesting ones next month. So there we are, Fire Angels. Oh, this is a wide one. I don't know if this will fit on my screen, but you can see on the Discord. They're looking very good. Lots of. Is that a Space Crusade Marine?
It's converted to look like one.
These are
feet.
It's second edition and Space Crusade upper torsos on new Mark 6 legs, and it's such a nice combination. Awesome. I love these models. I saw them earlier, and I think one of them has a bare head that's a Advanced Space Crusade or Scout head on the body, which.
No, that's the Sergeant, I believe.
And this guy with the bolt gun has got a Scout head.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at
they're very cool mix of like old and new on the same model.
Yeah.
And again, Fire Angel's another one that really like another army where the scheme's really simple, and then you can make them look good, because essentially they're very pale silver or white with red details. Fire Angels, good to see Fire Angels. They're actually really active in the Badab War, but because they don't have much history, they're not one of the ones people don't choose very often. But really fun. Good to see Fire Angels. Warp Wing is back with some Salamander Scouts. Look at these guys. Oh, lovely. Some using, I love this, the camo scheme is the wibbly wobbly scheme, because of course they are Scouts.
Yeah, you almost can't see them on that board.
Yeah. I suppose it's red. A lot of red and grey details on a red and grey board. Very good.
All I see is a pile of weapons dumped on the screen with no actual models. What are you talking about?
Yeah. They're really, really camouflaged apart from the bright red weapons. But that's very Space Marine-y.
So they've really come on from last time. They're looking fantastic. Yeah,
they're looking really, really good. I like the rocky terrain as well. Looks really nice. And the blue hair sergeant, is that a female sergeant? It is. I think it is. I think we've got Girl Scouts. Hey, Girl Scouts. I
think that's the same heads I've been using, the Votan heads.
Yeah. The ones that scale
yeah,
up.
they do fit well.
Brilliant. Loads of good stuff in there. And then also they've got a Terminator Sergeant for boarding actions.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah, it's looking very cool.
Yeah, it looks great, doesn't it? It's that lovely thing of like, if you make the yellow look really varied, the black can just be black. And it's
yeah.
I think it's also
Yeah.
possibly that's the same yellow contrast I've been using. But yeah, they're looking really good. Great, good starts there. Moving on to boarding patrol. That's nice. Mu Belgium, as I can't make it to the kill team day, they're cracking on with combat patrol using all the old chaos rules. Corpse Taker, Apothecary, Vivisector, very good for a Astral Claws team. Will be the Dark Apostle. That's a really good idea. So using the Chaos kill team, which is a Dark Apostle, some Possessed and some Tacticals, and then a squad of cultists. They're using the Apothecary Vivisector, which is a special Astral Claws unit. The background of that is that at some point in the Badab War, the Astral Claws were trying to bump up their numbers, and they started just taking gene seed from any fallen corpse, regardless of the origin of the chapter. And it's when people really started turning against them even more.
I think it was the point at which that was the point really at which the Astral Claws could no longer be taken back into the fold the way the other 3 chapters were.
Yeah, all the other there were plenty of other Marine chapters who were like, right, we're gonna kill them all now because they've started. Yeah. It's what
I
turned
do like sorry, I keep thinking there's a gap. I like using the box dread as the brute, because Space Marines have moved on now to the bigger sort of, is it a Redemptor dread or something? And the Invictuses, they're like really big. So to use the old ones as the brute makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and of course give it the plasma cannon, and then it's same armament anyway. Yeah, really good. And I like the heavy use of things like the Maelstrom Warders symbol on the banner. That's a symbol for the Maelstrom Warders chapter. So yeah, very, very thematic Astral Claws there, looking very good.
I do like those servitors as well. They're using the Imperium robot handlers from Maelstrom's Edge.
Oh, is that what it is? They're Maelstrom's Edge.
I knew I recognised them, and I was trying to work out from the knees. It was the knees that give it away, and I was thinking, I know I recognise these.
These ones with the sort of special glove. They're the ones that control all the robots. They're the handlers.
Yeah,
brilliant. Great. Well, we move on to. We saw about this last time. So, because this was, hey, Rob. He's put Rob now, so we know how to pronounce him. Some Executioner's Progress, a Terminator boarding action force to go along with the Death Speaker Chaplain from last time, which we all loved. Possibly the start of an Intercessor boarding actions force, and a really poor attempt at some version of the old color scheme. This is Executioner, so we love this guy. He's brilliant. This is the Heresy Prayer to convert it over to be Executioners, who are headhunters, chaplain. And then we've got some Terminators. This is also Heresy Terminators, some grabby hand Terminators. And yeah, this is the original color scheme where red is used in place of yellow.
Right, yeah.
And then starting on some Intercessors for a boarding action. Yeah, these are great. I like the Spartan crests.
The Cataphractii Terminators with lightning claws always look good, don't they?
They need a hug.
They need a hug.
They just need a
hug. Terminators. Yeah, these are looking absolutely fantastic. I really enjoy them. And a load of axes, a load of iron armor. They're looking very very brutal. Exactly what you want from a choppy head scheme. Moving on, we have Blood of East Island. Blood of East Island Man, not East Island Man. Ben. Haha, yeah, look, see, people are catching on to this. Hey, Ben, what are you painting? You haven't said. It says underneath. There we are.
Astral Claws.
Astral Claws. Yeah, lead 3 kill team. Icon Bearer. Yeah, brilliant. This is great. This is similar to what I've done. So here we are, one Astral Claws Legionary team here. Loads of little conversions on this. Looking great, isn't it? I do like the massive flag. I'm always a big fan of a way too big flag.
Yeah, can't place where it's from.
Oh yeah,
lots of heraldry.
The Triumph of Saint whatever, the Sisters of Battle model.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think it is Triumph of St.
Right.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really clever idea. Lots of I imagine that there pinned to his shoulder pad is like the Decree of Secession by Lufturon.
Yeah, definitely. It is now, anyway.
I love
Yeah,
this
that
guy,
guy
the
looks
guy with
great.
two
Yeah.
chain swords. That he's very
Yeah.
cool and just
Double
splattered
chainsword
in
guy.
blood.
And then, all
I
looking
do
very
love
good.
a double chainsword model.
And a Mark IV apothecary there. Because obviously you've got to have apothecaries in an Astral Claws force. How would they replenish their numbers if they weren't stealing Gene Seed from that
Yeah.
Howling Griffin there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quite.
very good.
He's the that's the apothecary with the ankle swinger leg greaves.
Oh yeah, the ones you don't like. Yeah, I don't know if they've modified that.
Yeah.
They're looking absolutely fantastic though. That's looking really, really good. So that's one kill team complete. They're ready to go. Then Clarky 666. They're not going to make the kill team events. They're doing Inquisitorial Force for 40k, which are in this. One squad of tactical Deathwatch Marines on special loan to help their chapter brothers put down this little rebellion. Very good. Yeah,
Very
with
cool.
their massive bonky sticks. I would hope, there we are. I was hoping this would be the case in the Deathwatch. Is it Deathwatch with Badab chapters? So that's a Nova Marine.
Yeah.
I think
Howling
so.
Griffin.
Yeah.
This is clever. Who's that? Is he a Challenger?
Minotaurs.
Minotaurs, thank you.
Minotaurs,
An
yeah.
old Minotaur and a Raptor and a Salamander. Yeah, brilliant. That's a really clever idea. Do bring Deathwatch made out of all of the loyalists.
Yeah.
I like
really
that
like
they're in camouflage armor rather than the usual black.
Black and silver.
Yeah, the green like main power armor color makes them a bit different.
Yeah, makes them look like and camouflage is such a thing in Badab anyway, so it makes them a bit lovely. That's a really good idea. Character building 89, Alistair, Kill Team Ronin, all complete for the Terminator Captain. Don't know if we have another month. If not, I'll tag on. You totally have. We've got until you've got as long as you like, but we're going to do our event at the end of November. And then we're going to move on to combat patrols and boarding patrols. So this is back to Mantis Warriors. Mantis Warriors Kill Team Ronin done. Looking really good with I love the little visors through their hats.
I love the bases on these. They really complement the models. The lava bases.
Yeah. The opposite color scheme to it's
because you do normally see Mantis Warriors with their Tranquility bases. So it's nice.
Yeah.
Mantis Warriors on a different base for once, actually. I mean, it's a classic thing, understandably, that you want to put your Mantis Warriors on their classic Tranquility bases, so your Tranquility veterans match their Tranquility bases. But this actually just works really well and gives you a different perspective on Mantis Warriors, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really like these. It just sets it off really well. They look great. Very, very good. And I'm good luck. Pile in some more if you get time, but all good. So Fixter Upper is going for Kill Team Eulogia of the not Fixter Upper. Fixter Upper, very different thing. Yeah, very different.
You can't say that.
Going for Kill Team Julia of the Star Phantom Spooky Ghost emoji, which I'm going to be using constantly now. Thank you. 10 Marines currently. Good. Star Phantom, so aiming for the long game here. 10 Marines currently, but another 2 on the shelf with more naval pattern bolt guns, which is a really nice idea, like shortened bolt guns to try and capture a bit more Badab spirit. Blitz the Bix box to do a mishmax of armor marks like you find in Imperial armor. So these are Star Phantoms. Definitely not the Dreadwing. Absolutely not. Definitely not the Dreadwing.
They're not even Dark Angels.
I've never even heard of the Dark Angels. Yeah. These
I
great
really like
loads.
these. They're a really nice mix of bits
Parts.
again.
Yeah. I also like the sort of subtle mix of I might steal this because I like the idea of mixing grey and white for the Star Phantoms. Because I was trying to think of a way of getting mine to feel different from my White Scars. When I do
something, just stay away from red.
Red and complete black as well. So this is really nice.
I think you gotta be completely monotone. Stay even away from creams in your white.
Yeah, just cold white. And like some checkers or something to make them look. But yeah, these are going really well. I like all the squad markings. One of the nice things about my I didn't have to do any of that with the Legion of the Damned because they're so covered in stuff already, which was quite nice. But I always like that pose of model.
What head is that? I've never. Yeah.
Is that an old Chaos Marine head?
It looks like one of the old Emperor's Children heads, is it?
I think it's
the Iron Warriors head.
Warriors Mark 6 heads for
Warriors
heresy.
Yeah.
Lovely, silly old plasma gun colours there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all looking absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'm a big fan of these Star Phantoms coming in for some reasonable and justified use of appropriate amounts of force. As they are what to do in the Star Phantoms. Yeah, very, very good. Wasteland Queen is doing the Space Sharks. Space Sharks Terror Scout Kill Team, which is quite a nice idea. Late start after the first episode's kick off. They had a lot of lack of sharks in the first episode, so they had to jump in and give them some love. Currently waiting on some third-party bits to spice them up. And this has been inspiring me to build these guys into it. And girls, brilliant, well done. Karkarodon Astra, can't be picky. Out into a larger force. Here we go. There's another one down there. I'm going to do this one first. Woo! Where's that? Is that a world? That's a world eater chain axe, isn't it?
It's the Necromunda butcher people.
Goliath,
yeah.
Corpse grinders. Yeah, that's fantastic.
And
then
the corpse grinders, that's the
here.
ones. Yeah.
So you've got a Karkarodon sniper, and yeah, all looking very good. That's a nice big cleaver there. I've just finished the new Karkarodon's book, Silent Hunters, which is really good. Really evocatively written. Eduardo something.
Not heard.
It's not Robbie McNiffen. Robbie McNiffen wrote the first two. The new one is a lot more like goes a lot more into their psyches. It's really nicely done. Okay. And then Robbie McNiven's written a book on The Exorcist, which I've just started. Yeah. So yeah, these are looking fantastic. Looking great. I think waiting for some more bits to fully assemble them. But Deadly Karkarodon Kill Team.
Well, I really like this the weapon on that. The
harpoon guy.
Yeah, with like the kind of I don't know where that sword is from. I'm guessing Wet Elves from Age of Sigmar, maybe.
Damp Elves.
It's got that kind of like
is it just a Chaos Marine weapon?
I think it's Wet Elves.
Marine weapon.
Could be.
Could be Wet Elves.
Picking up alien weapons they find is on brand.
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
This is brilliant. That's a really nice idea. Hope to see them all painted when the rest of the bits turn up. So Mingles, a bit sick, but the models have been working on last month. They've got 4 veterans and a veteran sergeant from 5th edition metals, and then 5 random goons, 2 Space Marines from the Space Marine Heroes series, 2 Marines from about the 2000s, and a captain. Brilliant. Here we go. So on to Nova Marines. 5 metal guys. Looking very nice.
Blue's amazing. I love that's the sort of blue I was trying to get for the librarian that I painted recently for my Blood Angels, and I couldn't get the blue to be quite that
like desaturated, slightly.
What's the word?
Yeah. Matte.
It's got a lot of depth to the colour, hasn't it? Basically. Yeah, I couldn't quite manage that level of blueness that I really wanted from mine. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Yeah,
it's really well done.
I love this. I love the blue scar tattoos across the face there.
Yeah. It's really nicely done. Yeah, I like that. Also, I like the green power weapons. They're looking very nice.
Yeah,
that's my go-to power weapon color. The
jade
chromatic blue.
So Princess Tom, who friend of the pod, Princess Tom is got progress so far. Salamanders in absurdly bright green as always. They look fantastic. Here we go. Some great retro models there. I love how I used to have loads of those assault bikes in my old White Scars army. They're looking really, really nice though, aren't they? Great looking salamanders.
Yeah, these are fantastic.
Company standard attack bike and some veterans, so should be able to cobble together a kill team from the veterans.
I'm trying to work out whether that standard is printed or painted, and seeing as it's Princess Tom, I think it might actually be that he painted that.
Yeah,
like most people, I'd assume that had been printed, but in his case, I don't know.
What do you think,
I've
Bobbie?
got a feeling it might be painted background and then a transfer from the very fancy Forge World transfer sheet.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Maybe.
There's a picture of it on its own later on. It just has that kind of.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Anyway,
be right.
Fantastic.
That looks fantastic.
It looks amazing. Anyway,
big chunky zigzags in the bottom of the banner as well, like a proper second edition model. Yeah, they're looking absolutely incredible. Very good. Cal is doing Exorcists, which I'm reading about right now. Still lots of details left to add, and I'll wait for lots of bits to arrive to finish the rest of them. I think a lot of people are in this. We want more bits. So they're looking very good. Nice little setup there of them on some terrain.
Lovely
nice
dark red for the Exorcists. Really good red for Exorcists.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, and contrasting well with.
I like how atmospheric those photos are. I know we're not normally critiquing the photography, but they've really set the models off by putting them on some nice terrain and nice lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the captain, it's all like.
I think Gary's our resident expert of actually doing photos, isn't he? And I need to up my game, but I don't have the space to get things set up the way I'd like to.
Yeah, I might bring these Firehawks just today to get some photos on the spaceship terrain. But yeah, very nice, very good, brilliant Exorcist. And we're really filling out the chapters, aren't we? So Lady Solar Leontis is here with the Imperial Guard operating under the watchful eye of the Inquisition. All they've managed to complete in the last few weeks, but more to come as the Badab War hits up. A single sort of guardsman overseen by a commissar and the Chimera, and then there's Inquisitorial shock troops and a Malcador Annihilator. Wow, just here, very good. So you got some Imperial Guardsmen looking brilliant there.
Massive kill team.
I presume the Carthago sector because they're very red, and then some a Malcador and some Inquisitorial stormtroopers. So yeah, the Inquisition are piling in with whatever forces they have at their disposal to the Badab War.
Vendicar assassin as well.
Yeah, like a sneaky assassin coming in to try and blow the head off a secessionist space marine. Mighty Duck Kitron, please accept humble beginnings of my Bitsbox Astral Claws decided by a can of unused ledge belcher. Yeah, that's exactly how you should build armies. Skipping kill team and aiming for a firstborn veteran of the original Chaos Combat Patrol. Just need a Dread and 2 serfs. Beyond that, aiming to build up to my style of army in 3rd or 4th edition. Good. Painting is not a favourite part of the hobby, much prefer converting, but happy with the progress. They're a good, again, as we say, they're a good choice of Marines for Bitsbox armies because they're cobbling together what they can get, and for people who don't like painting, because the basic scheme is very easy to achieve. And as we said on some of them last time, just like little details like those gold stabilizing thrusters just set them off quite nicely. Yeah,
I love the fact there's an RTB01 arm on one of those models.
I was to say there's a real mix of bits, and it works really well for them.
Yeah.
Looking really, really good. Macariel is doing salamanders. So they have enough for a kill team ready. Angels of Death or Phobos. Due to the abundance of Mantis Warriors, I was wrong. Due to the abundance of Mantis Warriors, they're switching to Executioners for the next phase. Allows me to go rogue and chop either side into the lore at later stages. Yeah, very good. Very different from my Heritage Marines. These are called together from various bits and pieces. So you've got some Mantis Warriors, Tranquility, armor, kill team. I think early when he was starting these, we might have accidentally thought he was doing wibbly wobbly salamanders, but these are actually Tranquility Mantis Warriors. Very good on a kill team core book there.
They were always definitely Tranquility.
All right, and then starting on Executioners for everything else, which is a ton of stuff. Look at that.
Wow.
Ready to chop people off using the Primaris there, which fine, but all good, lovely, going well.
Go ahead. Dreadnought is looking bigger than the Dreadnought.
That's the Redemptor. That's the Primaris one. It's about the size of a Leviathan. It's huge. Yeah,
okay.
And the Derridero, I think, is also further away.
Oh, that one. This one is
Thanks,
small.
Father Ted.
Andrew Dashborg, slow progress this month, but I've managed to get my Firehawks kill team assembled from the random collection of firstborn bits. That is very much the intention of this entire project. I have in my pile of opportunity some of the bodies from when I first got into the hobby and had to be rescued from a bad paint job. There we go. So that's lovely. At least getting progress.
I do want to say I am liking that people are now referring to a pile of opportunity instead of a pile of shame. The pile of shame distresses me. The pile of opportunity is the correct terminology, and I'm glad that is now spreading.
I think the pile of shame is what is in my loft, and the pile of opportunity is the bits box. Neil has come back. So Neil is joined in. Neil, who we know from the club. Neil T.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Neil. He's joined in. He's doing
okay.
he's doing executioners again, which I think is what he was doing last time. I can't remember. But he started some new executioners, looking good there on a kill team set. I see. So that's brilliant. Neil will be at the event playing executioners. He's one of our secessionists.
This is Neil, as in Guardian of the Loft, or
That's it. It is. That is Neil Guardian of the Hate. And if he needs a new username, that should be it. Neil Guardian of the Loft, from Hate. Yeah, is joined in. So
okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that's good to know he's going to be there. He's
very good. And then Bowl, Lamentus kill team progress. I do like this big choppy sword.
That is fantastic.
You see it bigger here. That's better. Yeah.
Big Space Marine with some fantastic hair.
Yeah, because he's a blood angel. They've all got like
perfect blood angel's head.
And then some normal running ones. Check. Can we have a check on the checkers, please? Check.
Yeah,
check,
right.
check.
So I'm seeing checkers. You know what? I'm going to comment on the yellow as well. The yellow is fantastic. It's very close to what I want to achieve as well. Hoping I can do it as well as that. I think I'll be a slightly paler yellow, but that is the quality of yellow that I want. I'm going to say the heart on the banner. It looks like it's a teeny tiny bit off center, so I don't think I can give it. I think I can only get the shape's perfect, but I think it's a tiny bit. So I'm going to give that a 9 on the heart.
Okay.
The checkers
I like the single row of checkers idea. I like that. That's not a
that seems like a cop out.
Oh, but I like one.
It seems like a cop out to me.
Design choice, because then you don't have to.
That's damning.
But he has done very good checkers on the shoulder pads, which is hardest place to do them anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite as good as the previous ones. I'm going to go for an 8.5 on those checkers. But I think the coloration actually is going to push them up to a 9, because they've done a really good job of not having them too plain. They've got a lot of.
He's just gone for a grimy, grim, dark look.
So I'm going to go for a 9 out of 10 on those checkers.
We've also
they're almost going a bit John Blanche color scheme with like
yeah, exactly. That's what I like about them. Exactly, that's what I really like. Yeah.
And then we've got Space Wizard and a couple of heavy guys or guys with special weapons coming along very nicely. Brilliant. So that's good. Mezzopano Will is back. Hi, Will. I saw Will in Manchester just the other week. He came to one of our shows. Started building a combat patrol. Will, of course, is bringing a ton of the terrain because he's for some reason built 4 sets of this Galodart terrain. Yeah. So Will coming to the
really
rescue.
Good as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? Coming to the rescue and bailing us out of having to find 12 sets of terrain. I started building a patrol. The plan
I like how he's airbrushed his lights. That's really clever.
It's a clever idea.
Yeah.
Plan is for them to be the Howling Griffins, and Griffins have claws, so I've kit bashed them onto my captain. Very good.
Nice. Yeah.
Griffins have claws, so they have claws. Very sensible. I don't know if Will's going to go for the full Howling Griffin scheme or the nighttime Howling Griffin scheme. Badab nighttime campaign.
Both look amazing anyway, so I'm just happy to see it.
I think we'll have to
removing
wait
all
and
the
find out.
ornamentation to bring in some heresy era stuff. Looking very good. What was that, Bobbie?
So we'll have to wait and find out. I'm sure they'll be painted by next episode, right? Well, right?
Yeah. Just before we do this event. Okay, more in this. So Jeannie is also making up for last month's flurry of painting by not getting anything finished. Howling Griffin's Nova Marine Combined Arms Force. I'm working on several big things half finished, but lost steam when my Shrieking Grime ate all the yellow off my Assault Marines. Oh no.
Oh.
Remember to varnish before using enamels, kids. We started working on a post-Rift Deathwatch build team made of Badab chapters instead, which also didn't finish. So things are happening though. There's some Howling Griffins happening. There's some undercoating happening. That's very neat masking taping there on the Nova Marine.
I do like those speeders.
Yeah, some old speeders there.
Speeder.
And some Deathwatch. Yeah. So nothing finished, but getting there. Progress. Sam L. I'm just gonna have a little scroll down and see how many I've got to go. Not that many. Okay, good. Right. So up here. Sam L, progress on Executioner's Terminator. So they're the very first Executioner's Terminators, our first small marine. Very good, very nice. Early days, but looking good for the Executioners. Nice, Sam. Well done. They're getting them from the Hatchet Combat Patrol. They're just using the Hatchet ones they have. Yeah, very handy. Using up old models. Chest or Cheetah Shootbot. Paul. I've dug out my set. So Paul's going to try and make it next month if he can. But he's tried out his set of C100 Imperial Marines and tried out a pretty expressionist Raptors paint job on the tiny blobby guys.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Look at this.
It's nice to see people trying to do something different, isn't it? It's it's not something I think I could ever achieve, but I love to see people doing that sort of thing and not always just doing the same thing that everyone else is doing.
Very wombly, these Marines, aren't they?
Yeah. I like seeing modern paint jobs on old stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot more detail.
So Paul's going to try and make it with Raptors next month if he can. Ed, friend of the pod, Ed from Hate Club. Not much painting, but my progress is much working out how to make it list and kill team. So Mantis Warriors team from left to right, 2 Assault Intercessors, an Intercessor Warrior, an Assault Intercessor Sergeant, a Heavy Intercessor Gunner, and the mad lad at the end with the special equipment's a Grenadier. I imagine he's using it to find the resonating frequency of bulkheads or something. So that's his Mantis Warrior.
I love everything Ed ever does.
Yeah.
And really more classic Space Marines. We're seeing quite a lot of like old school minis, and I wasn't necessarily expecting that, and it's nice. I do like a bit of old hammer.
It's the variation.
I think doing something like the Badab War, it lends itself to having a very scattergun approach to things. I think like we said it at the start, it's an opportunity to use up old bits, get your firstborns out on the table somewhere, and not get locked in. I mean, like the next guy, Final Jack, has done some fantastic. I'm just looking down the page a bit, and they're fantastic intercessors. And I think that's what it enables. We've got the oldest possible metal Marines and some very, very new intercessors, and I think that's exactly what we should be glad of for a project like this one.
Jack's doing Sons of Medusa for Combat Patrol and Firehawks for Kill Teams. So this is the Sons of Medusa Combat Patrol, all good, brilliant with modern intercessors. Yeah, always a big fan.
The weathering is very good.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Looking absolutely incredible there. I do like a good Sons of Medusa squad, and including because it's Combat Patrol, they have to have some Stern Guard. Really nice. And then Firehawks, for the Kill Team. So again, like
cool.
These are some third-party bits, aren't they, to do the bodies? The third-party bodies with extra.
Or is it green stuff? Can't tell if it's third-party or just green stuff they've done themselves.
Also, not ready yet, but 90% there. Never want to paint flames again. Yeah, that sounds about accurate for a Firehawk. So. Secret is get ones where they've already been sculpted on for you. The nice thing I always appreciate actually about this Badab Firehawk scheme is that they don't try and do realistic flames. It's two-tone flames, which is quite nice. It's how Badab books are. They're just
hot rod flames.
Yeah. Alex K47 Mantis Warriors made a start on the first Codex or game compliant Mantis Warriors, just adding the old weapons and irregular armor on the heretical tab. Onto the heretical tab. Gazzy. Yeah.
That variation on the classic Tranquility Sniper Veteran scheme with the green and black instead of just black is absolutely amazing. And I'm just like, that looks so good that it almost makes me want to go back to some of my old ones and put some green over some of the black and do the same thing, because that looks absolutely fantastic.
It's a really nice idea.
I was going to comment on as well. That slight tweak to the camouflage makes it really pop.
Yeah. And then you got space on the new jacket as well to do it. Yeah. Really good. They're looking really, really good. Fantastic. Then Kazoo Raptor. Raptor, very good at naming. Raptor Scout, slow going, but not much left to do except getting better at photographing. So that's his comment, not mine. So that's their comment, not mine. The
perfect colour green for Raptors.
Yeah, nice green coming along well, I think. Yeah, well, you can really say. And that's it. That's where we are. That's the end of our community progress. Thanks, everybody.
Can I jump in before we finish? I want to check something. So, if we go through, we've seen all of the Secessionist chapters.
Yeah.
I think, did we see any Tyrants Legion last month? I think we might have
last
done.
month. Last month we saw Tyrants Legion, so people are at least
Yeah.
planning Tyrants Legion.
Mhm.
So we haven't seen any yet, but they are
So
happening.
we've got Firehawks.
Yep.
I don't recall did we see any Marines Errant last month?
We did not. Only mine. Yeah. We've not got any Marines.
So we've
Errant,
seen
no.
yours. So if
Yeah.
anyone is trying to fill a gap, there's Marines Errant. And I think Red Scorpions, similarly, was it just yours or did someone have Red Scorpions
Ooh,
last
I
month?
think someone had
somebody
last-
had Red
Yeah.
Scorpions.
Someone had Red Scorpions last month. Yeah. So there was someone with Red Scorpions. We've seen the only Minotaur we've seen is in that.
I was about to
kill
say
team.
in the kill team. That was what I was going to say. So our gaps are pretty much Marine Errants and Minotaurs, I believe.
Yeah, I
And
think
Space Sharks.
there's one space
We've
shark.
got some this month.
Oh,
It
yeah.
started this month. Yeah.
I think you're.
Okay. Awesome.
Is there anyone we're forgetting?
That's amazing that we've got
that's
almost
actually-
all of the gaps.
Yeah, and I've got Red Scorpions of Marines Errant, so I think at the minute
Anyway,
it might actually only be Minotaurs that I've not
I'm
seen.
looking at the list right now. It is just Minotaurs that we've only got that one fella.
Which is surprising, right? Because Minotaurs are quite popular.
They got a lot of Forge World love, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They
Yeah.
did
they
get
were
a lot
few.
of Forge World love. Ivana Senkomi and the chapter master, whose name momentarily escapes me, is an awesome model, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see someone fill that void as we go, because I'd love to see some really well done Minotaurs, either in the original crazy paint scheme or the modern,
or the modern
bronzy
one. Yeah.
paint scheme.
Asterian Moloch is who you're thinking of. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, look, thanks everybody. It's great to go through all the stuff. It's great to see everyone's progress. Looks like it's going to be a really fun event next month. We might get another update in before then. If not, we'll do one just afterwards. And then we'll move on to expanding these or starting something new for Combat Patrol. Probably get Combat Patrol in straight after Christmas, I think. And then we'll move on to even bigger forms of 40k over the next few months. So welcome to new viewers. Lovely to see so many new people. Lovely to see so many people joining in with the building of armies. We're
really
off
inspiring.
It is, isn't it? It's great. Yeah, it's been really fun. Thanks to you guys, as always. Lovely to see you in chat. And we will be back in a month with our progress. I'm off to play some Kill Team. See ya.
Yay. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.